people are impressed. You know, I've seen people that when I was growing up, I just marveled at some of the mothers of the church, and the old deacons of the church, and no matter what came at them, they just never got shook. They just stood there and said, it's going to be all right. It's going to be. And we look at that and say, hey, that's great. And Paul says, yeah, but if it's not done in love, if you're not doing it in love, you are nothing. Not doing it because of you love the people, you love the word, you're doing that. You know, what I found is, I'm going to say something that may sound a little strange. I found people who love the work of God, but they don't love God. How you know they don't love God? Because they don't love the people. Jesus said, you do it to the least of these, you do it to me. Amen. So be careful. And again, that's where I got to check myself. Don't get so enthralled and fall in love with the work of God, but forget the love of God, the love of the people. Come on, Pastor Meredith, come on.
Brother teacher, as I listen, great comments, praise the Lord, great lesson, doing a great job there. Love. God so loved the world that he what?
Gave. Come on now.
What did he give? He gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever what?
Believe it. Yes, him. Sir.
See, now, when we look at the divine love, see, God loves all of us. But let me put this in here. So he loves all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Or will he allow us to go to heaven?
Yes, sir.
In any kind of old way?
No, sir. No, sir.
No. See, you must have him in what? Your life.
Yes, sir.
He loves everyone walking upon this earth. But you must accept him as your personal Savior to get to what? To get to heaven.
Amen.
See? And so sometimes we get all mixed up. God loves us, yes. But just because he loves us, and we don't repent of our sin and accept him as our personal Savior, we're going to hell.
Come on now.
See, so some people mix that up. It's called God loves us. You think maybe he's going to let you go to heaven. No, you must be what?
Born again.
And God still loves us.
That's right.
He loves those that don't even love him.
Yes, sir.
See?
That's right. It's
but you're not going to get to heaven not loving the Lord. See?
Amen.
So I just want to point that out there.
Amen. Amen.
Love. It's important.
God bless you.
And when you love God, you're going to love everybody, but you don't have to mess with everybody.
All right.
I mean, you don't have to lay down on everybody because you love them. You don't have to hold them by the hand and because you love them.
Mm-hmm.
I love everybody, but I'm not out for no foolishness. See?
Come on now.
See. I love everybody, but I'm not going to mess with you when you acting like you don't have good sense.
All right now.
Thank you, Lord teacher.
Amen. Pastor Mary, God bless you. God bless you. Amen. Verse 3. Here's the other thing, area that we as church people put in high esteem, and that is giving. If I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, in other words, I give it all, and not charity, without love, it profits me nothing. You know, I've seen people give, and when they give, they don't do it out of love. They do it out of obligation. You ever seen people who are looking for resources and things to do, and when they give, they go, here you go. I gave $5 to that man out there on the street. Yeah, but how'd you give? What spirit did you get at it? Yeah, I know we got to give to them. You know, they ain't living. I guess we don't have to give them something. And you give a lot, and it's on the rolls. You can puff yourself up. But God says, you know what? That's not profiting you anything. Amen. what did Jesus say? What is it a man profit if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? These big foundations and give hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars. God, that's great, but where's the love? How are we giving it? How are we doing it? I'll never forget. Sister Evie can relate to this. We had a situation where there was a man who gave of himself. He went over to the continent of Africa, and he had pictures where he helped the people out in the rural areas, helped build houses. And he took pictures. He had pictures with him. He's smiling, He had pictures and all that. And so we were at a conference. And it was a conference where students had to answer questions. And so when the questions were all done, our daughter answered all of them correctly. She's the only one. And so he says, is anybody here answer all the questions? And they said, yes, that young lady up there. And he looked at her and he said, who? The only black girl. And so they said, her. He looked again. He said, who? She did. Now, of course, I had to hold back Sister Evie. I mean, that wasn't go. that was about ready to show you love, hon. Show you love. And he finally relented. You see, he did it out of obligation. And he had pictures. See how I treat those people over there. But he didn't love them because he could not see someone who he thought was beneath him that could do better than him. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you can do all that stuff. But you know what? If it's not done out of love, God, you can stay home. Be careful how we treat folk. Oh, we're givers. But how are you giving? How are we doing it, huh? Let's be careful. So Paul talks about this. He says, these are the things that we need to concern ourselves with. 1 John 4:8 says, God is love. Jesus told his disciples, he says, by this, all will know that you are my disciples. By this. He didn't say how well you preached. He didn't say how many scriptures you knew. He didn't say how much money you gave. He says, what? If you have love for one another. He said, that's the key. That's the check. That's God. Check mark. That's what he's looking at. What he told Jesse, when Jesse said, who you going to see? He said, I want to see David.